I'm gonna respond to the criticisms. We're getting a lot of heat online, Rich.
I heard.
Do you read the comments?
Very little.
I feel like Wyrmwood, we sort of take punches. It's like we put ourselves out there, and then hate and criticism comes in. Sometimes deservedly, often not. Hate comes in, and then we sort of just take it and then move on, right? And sometimes the criticisms are legitimate, but these criticisms are trash. This is Reddit tier level analysis of the layoff situation. I just want to go over a couple basic things, and I have you here, Rich, just because Pennsylvania didn't get featured at all with the whole hullabaloo. Actually, do you want to talk about it at all?
It was tough. It was tough. I've done a lot of things in this industry.
Sure.
That was probably the toughest.
Really?
Because I hired every single one of them.
Right.
You know, and, hey, we're doing good, we're gonna go. Most people don't understand business. The person behind the keyboard's going, you're a dickhead because you laid off all your people. That's not the whole case. Business is tough.
Right.
And they don't understand that.
No. And
Nothing against anybody, not trash talking nobody. Business is tough. If you don't understand business, you don't understand
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Here's some things I just want to lay out that didn't get included that I'd like to include. First of all, everybody got at a minimum 2 week severance.
Yes.
Okay? Some people got more than that. Do you want to add to that at all?
I think that was great for the company to do that, because normally when you get laid off, you're like, see ya, you know? Bye.
Yeah. Number two, the most common complaint that I saw was, how can you do this before the holidays? I've got two responses to you. The problem is we're running out of work. If we pushed that off, say 2 months, the layoffs would have been harsher. You would have had more layoffs, right? If we have a certain amount of work and I'm saying, we're running out of work, and they're like, well, why don't you just wait 2 more months? It's not going to get better. If we had put off layoffs, there would have been more layoffs. This is why I'm saying this is Reddit level analysis from people that have never run. That is an obvious thing to anyone that's in business. If you're running out of work, putting it off just means there'll be more layoffs in a month or two. 3
campuses. The typical person don't understand what it takes to turn that light switch on every day. I bang my head because I read a couple, I'm not gonna lie to you, and it's like, you didn't walk in our shoes. You don't understand. You think we just said, okay, by the way, tomorrow we're laying everybody off. It's not how it happened. Tough decision that a lot of people don't understand. So, I broke down a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough. But we have to do what we have to do to survive.
Next thing, fact that is actually pertinent. I just want to pierce people's bubbles of nonsense they live in. Taxes increase layoffs. We're bringing in $300K a week. We need to right size the company to this amount of cash. Like, this is our cash in. We got to balance the cash out to the cash in. So we have our payroll number and we're whittling down the payroll number. I was like, hey, do we have payroll taxes in here? Oh, what are payroll taxes? 11%. That's what the employer pays. So guess what happened to the layoffs?
They went up by 11%.
They went up by 11%. Those 3 or 4 people that then lost their jobs based on that, those 3 or 4 people were the best people we lost. Another reason we moved as quickly as we did is yes, it was the right thing for the company. I also think it is just being honest. If I know that we're going to have a downsize, and I know these people are going to have, financial troubles, you actually want people to have that information as quickly as possible with as much severance as possible. You're not doing people favors by sort of keeping them in a job through the holidays where then, oh, hey, they're spending all the money, they're like living their life, blah, 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 and then, hey, January 1st, guess what? You're out of a job, right? You're not doing anybody a favor by lying to them. You don't do yourselves a favor lying to yourself. As soon as you understand a situation, you should act on the situation. And you should treat people like adults. There's a whole vibe in all the comments. It's almost paternalistic. It's like, but aren't you thinking of this or the feelings or that? It's like, listen, the fucking feelings have very little to do with the world. The more information, the sooner the better.
One other thing I saw a lot of was like people really just putting the blame on you.
Oh, sure. And that's fair. That's the least offensive thing.
Like you can't.
From my perspective, this whole thing is like, we knew we didn't need the company to be as big and to run as hot as it currently was. The reason why it was so useful is because we were trying to fulfill a backlog and get an inventory on the website. And the only way to do that is to build way more tables than you actually need to build. Right? And then, specifically because you didn't want to lay everybody off, or half the people off, the hope was maybe we can sustain ourselves if the turnaround time is significantly better. Like, we knew we operated a cash burn. Like, it wasn't news to us that we were spending more than we were bringing in, right?
Sure.
And the reason why we were like, all right, once these are in stock, let's see what happens to sales, and maybe we can let everyone keep their job. The reason why this happened was because we did absolutely everything, even though it seemed unlikely, to make sure we didn't lay people off, right? And then we reacted to reality. It's like, we could have done this a long time ago and just been like, all right, let's cash out. Awesome, yeah, let's bring in the money. But it would have been so much easier to do that, but we didn't.
No, we could have, when we had that initial surge of demand, instead of us literally investing all of the profits that could have generated into getting the people their stuff as quickly as possible. Yeah, we could have just been like, nope, we're going to set up our company with this many people, we're going to get profitable, and yeah, if you get your game table in 3 years.
Oh, and also, just so it's out there, in the over decade that Wyrmwood has been in business, there has never been a shareholder profit distribution.
That's true.
Just going to throw that out there for people being like, oh, yada, yada.
I wanted
and
to
Doug
mention
would never
that too.
say this either. JV makes more than Doug.
Right. Yep.
Like, it is so annoying. No one has any idea what they're talking about. Doug is not the highest paid person in the company. Far from it. He never elects to give himself a raise. Same exact thing with Ian. It's like, to think that it's greedy at the top is it's just not true. Well, you would never say that yourself.
No, well,
so
I mean,
everyone's like,
awkward.
oh, this greedy businessman.
Yeah.
It's like, Doug wants to reward the shareholders for the first time in over 10 years.
Listen, if you want to understand my motivation, Wyrmwood, I love the people I work with. I really have a lot of close relationships in the company. I want to do right by the people in this company, and it's a lot of fun solving all these problems. That's it. I already have a lot of money. Like, I just don't care. I don't care. My Bitcoin book, like, I could retire.
Yeah,
I don't know if you put this or not, but like, if people really do want to understand the motivation, and this is the problem with the problem with the fucking Reddit tier analysis, is that they think people think the way they think, and they think in a very short-term, self-centered sort of, that's like the viewpoint they have, and that's where their analysis comes from. Mm-hmm. They can't understand that other people would have other motivations, and they can't understand the fact that there's limitations. To them, the boss makes all the decisions and there's no constraints. Last thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be putting this stuff on YouTube. We're not going to listen to people that say that. Right? Because A, there's always going to be someone that's pissed off something's on the internet. Yeah. Almost no matter what it is. You just can't listen to that noisy, small, neurotic minority. And number two, it's just like a form of almost bullshit, like, censorship. It's like they don't like Wyrmwood for whatever reason, because we're successful, or because they don't like this, or they don't like Rich, they don't like me. Everybody
absolutely hate me.
No, everyone loves Kelly.
Honestly, there should be more things like Wyrm Lyfe on the internet. If anything, it's the other direction. If anything, the problem is that everything is bullshit paint job. Everything is veneer thin. There are no flaws that are ever shown. It's like, life is messy. The world is messy. We're messy people. We have as many subscribers as we do because we're actually doing something that's interesting and different.
And we're telling the whole story, not just part of it.
I wish we told even more than we do.
Yeah.
Honestly, every time we've pulled our punches, I've regretted it.
Yep.
Every time we've pulled our punches, I've regretted it. If anything, we should be more recklessly transparent. And from a strategic, like, oh, is this good for the company? Is this bad for the company? Burr, 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 burr. It's good for the company. Because the thing is, the haters don't actually hurt you.
Keep the comments coming. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Like I already know for sure you want to get decent handful of the people that we let go
sure.
back.
Yeah, I want to continue to grow the company. You think, yeah, the game goes on.
Like that's the goal. Let's get them back in. We're gonna beat this and get them back. Like we didn't want to let any of those people go.
No, there are probably a good 25 to 50% of the people that were let go, I 100% would rehire in a heartbeat. 25 to 50% of the folks I would love to get back in here with no loss of seniority, with no loss of pay.
Hopefully a raise when they come back.
I hope, yes, and I hope the people that are here will continue to get pay increases.
Right.
Whatever we do, we're going to get ridiculed and criticized, so we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep reading the comments, Rich?
No. I read 3, okay? Jeez.
Come on,
Talk to Josh Salata. I'll name him.
All right. That's it. Cool. Thank you.